Well, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive. There's a lot of pink energy. I want to say the pink lotus, the high priestess, the divine feminine. And I'm being shown a triad. And I'm being shown in the triad is the light of the self, the shadow of the self, or the dark of the self. And the pink is here. So I feel like this is a reference for somebody. It aligns with Kali, perhaps, goddess Kali. It also, transformation, got it. Whoever this message is for, you are a divine feminine powerhouse. Maybe you like pink, like I'm really feeling the pink here, really feeling the high priestess energy. I'm also getting Grecian coming in with this as well. So, and a temple, the temple of Grecian goddesses is what's coming up. So take it how it resonates. Confounding. I feel like whoever this message is for, you're in a state of replenishment. And I'm just going to roll with how this is coming through. I did not intend to sit down and do a message. I was just reading through all of your beautiful comments, and my heart, literally, you guys are amazing. I hope that these messages reflect to you the love of you that is you as well. And what a beautiful reciprocity you and I can have here on this channel of love for each other, love for the self. I'm hearing the devotion to the evolution of self, I guess you could say. So this is very clearly a message for a high priestess, a divine feminine powerhouse. Now, they're making me feel like there's 10 different aspects happening all at the same time for whoever this message is for. You've got endings over here. You've got beginnings here. You've got structures that are just coming into your conscious awareness of forms. You've got old identities and codependent energies that have been clinging or your psyche has been sensing that's also happening in the periphery. There's like all these 10 things happening at once. And I'm seeing the magician. And when I took some time off for myself from YouTube, I got the most incredible channels about the magician and I didn't share them. And I feel like this is my checkmark confirmation I'm seeing to go ahead, and it's time now to share those. So I'm just going to do a quick reference to this magician energy who has the capacity and the capability to utilize all the different things happening, which are all compartmentalized individually, but you have an awareness as the magi, the magician, of all of these things happening at once. Some of you might attune to that as being aware of the multidimensional field and all the different layers and dimensions in all of the unseen aspects or things going on around you. You're not just having this experience here, but you're sensing, oh, that's what the angels are doing this experience. There's my higher self. Here's how they're operating. Here's how this person's lower self is coming in. Like you might have access to all these things all at once. And that's magician energy. Whoever this message is for, you are a divine feminine and you are a female. So they're really referencing this. This is a message for a woman who holds a divine feminine powerhouse within her, does not recognize it. And I say that loosely and lightly because I feel like they're saying this person who this message is for, you are recognizing it. It's like everything you've been in your journey, everything you've gathered, suddenly this higher viewpoint is coming in of recognizing who you are, what you've been doing, why you went to all these different places. It just brings you to the sublimeness of your life. And this probably is why I felt called to purchase only pink gladiolas. I felt the need to wear pink, to don it, to embody it, to embrace it, this beautiful feminine authority and power. Now, the subtleties and soft, like literally, I'm looking at my desk here now and I have a whole bunch of things that are pink that I never even noticed before. So that's really interesting. They're wanting to talk about the glads. That's also interesting. Okay. I'm just going to grab one out here. For any of you that know about gladiolas, I love them. I love that there's glad, happy, sad. We're in the glad. So on a gladiola stem, just a mirror of ooh, whoever this message is for, you're also under extreme divine protection right now. Access denied to anyone that attempts to project, cajole, manipulate, or taint the energy field. That is a message for you as well. So go forth, be bold, be brave. How big your brave is. Be bold, be brave, be you, and embrace the thing that you have been shy about or hiding. Here's why I say this. On a glad, going back to the glads, Spirit is saying, notice there are multiple blooms and they come in multiple phases. Like on the end of this, it looks like there isn't much, but there's actually 2, 4, 6, 7 blooms waiting to bloom. That doesn't even account for the rest of the blooms on the stem, which is 2. I'm supposed to count these because the number of them is significant for someone down here as a confirmation and a validation. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. 14. Notice that this one hasn't even come to its bud yet at the top here, and yet the one at the bottom is already dying out. This is because it's a progression. The energy moves up to bring it into form. This bloom, then that bloom, then the next, then the next, then the next. Notice the ones in the middle are in full gorgeous bloom. This is kind of like the process of a soul's evolution, the phases of our lives. And as the midway point is in bloom, they're pointing out right now, this is for somebody who's in the liminal space, the middle. This has not come into full periphery conscious awareness, and yet it's peeking through. See how little peaks of the blooms? Yes, friends, I'm using a gladiola. I don't know why this is kind of funny, but it is. But I also feel like this is relevant for somebody on here to specifically use this. They're saying the natural world holds great wisdom, a wisdom that can be connected to the inner world of each individuated soul's consciousness. And they can be utilized to provide structures, metaphors, and understandings. After all, says Venus, what is the point of Gaia, Earth, ancient Gaia? What is the point of the amazing synergy and symmetry and life cycles of everything in the natural world in terms of the trees, the grass, the weather, the ocean, the rocks, the desert, yes, my friends, and all the plant and ecosystems that we might just say, oh, look, there's a pretty glad. And yet it has an entire story to tell if one is willing to listen, access the information. So they're saying, go back to the glad, Erin. Friends, thanks for being here on this channel. Thanks for embracing my wild weirdness, wisdom, channeling, thoughts, experiences, and sometimes my opinions. Thank you for being here with me and in embracing me and all the strange things that I may or may not do, which may appear to be strange to you, but sometimes are very, quite frankly, my norm. I hope that you will embrace that interestingness about you, because there's only one you. And this high priestess, not only is there only one you, you're in the mid bloom right here. There's like a recognition of all this here, peeking through your consciousness and where you're going and what it all was meant for, the preparation. And down here at the very bottom is the first bloom of you, the first phase that is finally dying off. It has been spent. All the nurturing's going to the midway. So they're making me feel like you're in between worlds. Not only are you peeking through with these new structures and new ideas and new concepts, but at the same time, all of the old things are dying away. You're not meant yet to see the fullness of this, and you're also not meant to be fully died off in this one, because each of these holds 3 pearls is what I'm hearing. Each bloom holds 3 pearls. This is because each bloom represents a phase of your life. You can place it however you want to, whether it is, you know, I had the phase where I was single. I had the phase where I was married. I had the phase where I was divorced. I had the phase where I was healing. I had the phase where I was newly entering the field again. Like, each of these are different phases along the journey of your soul's experience. Some of you may attune to this as like, oh, I had the phase of a childhood. I had a phase of teenager. I had a phase of, tween. We forgot tweens, and tweens is important because it's an important stage as well, apparently, for somebody on here. And I feel like that's maybe perhaps because you have a tween. Yes, this message might be for you. And then you go through, you know, teenager, then an adult, which they call an adult, but hasn't fully formed as an adult in the way that we perceive adults. Then there's like the 25s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever it is. The reason they're pointing this out is it's the same for a spiritual evolution or ascension of the internal self. This is the same process for transformation. The glad is showing us the whole picture, because it's not just you're in the throes of the death of a self or an experience or a relationship or a thought about yourself, an identity. It's also not just the middle bloom of the middle space or just about this one bloom. And it's also not just the new beginning that you're also in the midst of as well. 24 is coming up significantly for somebody on here. The number 24, that's a very specific confirmation that might only be for a few of you. Take it how it resonates. If it's not resonating for you, that doesn't mean the message isn't yours. It's just something specific for somebody that's asked for it. I'm also hearing it has something to do with food, and compliments to the chef for something like that. So it's so interesting. But the gladiola holds the entire life cycle of every phase, the one that has already passed and is dying off, creating a pearl of wisdom, the one that's in full bloom in the middle space, not yet fully integrated or fully bloomed. So this is like the middle part is the completion of this, and it's also the beginning of this. So if you're feeling like you're not sure which way to go, you're having endings happening at the same time as beginnings, you're experiencing beautiful moments of incredibly understanding that you're on a new timeline, you're in a new energy, and you can sense it and feel it. But some things haven't come into full form, and other things you can still feel dying off. Know that you are in exactly the right place. This is where you are in that process. And I'm hearing leave room for magic, leave space for spirit, make room for vision, allow one seed to seed another. Allow an old seed to go back into the ground to nourish what may come in the future. I'm also hearing every bloom on the glad is utilized. That means the entire phase of your process or ascension is also utilized. That means also that this is an entire life cycle for one person. You might see it as your experience right now, but they're saying this is also the entire cycle of a soul journey. You could use it as that, as a much grander, greater perspective. Each decade of the life, perhaps. Place it how it resonates for you. And I'm also hearing sometimes it's not about it resonating for you. Sometimes we take in an idea or somebody else's perception that's a little bit off the wall, and a little bit different, and a little bit unexpected, like a gladiola talking to us, providing us with a framework and a structure so we can understand where we are, where we've been, where we're going, and what this beautiful process is actually bringing us to in terms of an inner understanding. And notice the glads are pink too. So pink, pink, pink. Yeah, maybe you resonate with the singer Pink. I love her music. I love her style. I love that she's just her. I love that she just moves through transformation. She's real. She's authentic. So maybe you're a Pink fan and this is just a confirmation. I am too, friends. I like all that stuff and all the progression. So I'm also hearing, notice that Pink has gone through a life progression on the main stage, both her own internal, which is protected from others, but also allowed other people to move through transformation as well, because she was simply willing to create and to express from her soul. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's important for somebody on here, because instead of looking at all the phases of your life and the detours and the experiences, what if you looked at it as one giant evolutionary experience? This has no more meaning or value than this right here. And this has no more meaning or value, this stage, than this right here. In fact, they're all equal, but represent different things. So same but different, I guess you could say. I just felt really called to come on here, illuminate the color pink, tell the story of the glad of which it wishes to express itself in a strange and curious way that I didn't expect, but I trust it. I value these things and they matter to me. You may not find value in it, and that's totally okay. They align with me. I agree with this, I guess you could say. And I don't need somebody else's agreeance to be this beautiful unfolding like the gladiola in a cycle. And I feel like that's a specific confirmation for somebody on here. You do not need anybody else's permission to be who you are, to go through any of these stages, to even understand these stages in order to be in your own authority or to be right. There's something about like, grant yourself permission to simply be you in all its mess and all its beauty and it's all its highs, its lows, its weirdness, its strangeness, its wisdom, its intellect. Just let it all be. Every phase has a purpose. Every moment, every experience has a purpose. And each are different, and yet one will feed the other. Whoever is still with me on this and resonating, you're going to see the perfection of your life. Maybe you already are in these moments, but that's really what this bloom or multiple blooms, blooms yet to bloom, blooms are having a wilted bloom and the one in full bloom is the message for you. And whoever this is, you are definitely a high priestess energy, a spiritual authority, and you are a powerhouse. And your powerhouse is not bulldozing over others or trying to make yourself heard. No, this is true feminine power. You speak in alignment with what is true for you. That is your magnetism, and that is the power. It has nothing to do with anyone outside of you. It has nothing to do with anyone else's journey. That's the real power. Whoever this message is for, embrace all of it, because you are embracing all of you, and you are a power unbeknownst to itself that is about to fully realize itself in ways that perhaps you didn't give yourself permission to before, because everyone surrounding you or around you could not comprehend it, and most certainly because they couldn't comprehend it, could not have given you permission to be who you are or even affirm it, validate it. They couldn't embrace it. They couldn't celebrate it because they hadn't really acknowledged that capacity within themselves. People can only meet you where they've met themselves. That's a reality. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're not aligned. And it doesn't mean that you're not this beautiful, eccentric, exquisite, multifaceted, multidimensional, ever blooming, changing, shifting through the phases. It doesn't mean you're not that. It just means they haven't done that. They can't see that, so they can't perceive you. Friends, I feel like I might know who this message is for, but let me know in the comments. Sometimes we just need like the bigger picture here, not just like the itty bitty little pieces that we're at. And I know those are the present moments, but Spirit sometimes gifts us with great value in helping us through those current present moments or those current struggles or the current confusion or the current breakthrough by giving us this beautiful overview, which allows us to relax, to take a deep breath, to feel safe and secure, which naturally fuels all these beautiful other seeded visions and the blooms. We're making space for magic. Being in the moment is what allows us to do that. A higher spiritual perspective, or just a higher vantage point, or just a general overview allows us to take a step back and find peace, safety, deepen our trust in ourselves, and have a more holistic understanding, vision, sight, hearing, and feeling about what we're going through. So we don't get stuck here. We don't dwell here too much. We don't put too much emphasis on just this one thing, because we recognize, it's all these things, and they all naturally happen, just as the sun rises and goes down every single day, just as the moon rises and falls every single night, just as the trees come up and re-bloom and seed themselves, just as the ocean flows when it needs to and stills when it needs to. These things happen naturally, just as it happens naturally with the gladiola, the entire process. As human beings, sometimes we fight this natural cycle of evolution that we're experiencing because we have a condition within us that doesn't feel safe, doesn't understand, and doesn't trust in the process or in the self. So I hope that this message has brought someone peace, has helped you to just take a breath. You're right on time. You're right where you need to be. You're in the midst of this. It is glorious. It is exquisite. Like, leave room for magic. Don't try and figure it all out. Don't try and go back to this old thing. Just find the pearls of wisdom there. Don't need to know what this is going to look like. Allow it to unfold. You are a beautiful unfolding, a beautiful masterpiece. And good Lord, thank you to this beautiful gladiola that I did not foresee the reason I bought it, nor that it would have so many beautiful messages. It is time to bloom, darling, in whatever phase you are in. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be old. It doesn't have to be new. Sometimes your self-expression doesn't even need to have a point except for the purpose of being expressed. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for being here with me. If you're still here to the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click on the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next session here on Channel Your Light.